Okay, from Northwestern, our student athletes are Chase Audige and Buie. The head coach, Chris Collins. Coach, it was a heck of a ball game, and you got down early, but you never quit, you never gave up, and tied it on several occasions. And can you address the whole game?
Sure. Congratulations to UCLA. They're an outstanding team, very physical, very tough, very well coached. They came out early and gave us problems. Their physicality defensively, their aggressiveness. We had a hard time getting started in the first half, but I thought Buie's basket there at the end of the half to cut it to 10 was huge. We got a little bit of momentum there, and I wasn't surprised the way we played in the second half. Because you know what, that's what these guys have been, and that's what our team has been all year long. We have a fighter spirit. We go to the next play. If we get knocked down, we keep fighting. We keep battling. I could not have been prouder of my guys. I think as a coach, all you ever really ask for is for your guys to leave it on the floor, and give everything they have, emotionally, physically, with their communication. And we did all that. One shot goes in, we're just talking in the back. Chase has a three that goes in and out. We had a drive, late, and then they go down and make sometimes a guy makes a shot and you miss a shot, and that's the difference in an NCAA tournament game. But that was just a hard playing game, man. Both teams, we knew that we knew they were going to do that, and I think the greatest compliment for these guys is I think they know that we were going to do that as well. I think it was one of those games, and we had our chances. We felt really good. We got the game tied. We were really positive. We were really confident. And these guys were fantastic in the second half. We finally found some things that were working for us offensively in the second half. We found some openings. We saw the ball go in a little bit, and just heartbroken. I told these guys in the locker room, like, I've never had more fun coaching. These guys, they've shown up every day. They allowed me to coach them, whether sometimes that mean to get on their butts, but other times love them. We had a lot of fun along the way. We worked really hard, but it was fun, and we were really connected, and these guys were incredible, and just couldn't be more prouder of the group.
Annie Costabile from the Chicago Sun-Times. Chris, this game had a lot of similarities to 6 years ago when you guys powered that late game comeback. What was your message to the team at half? What differences did you see that allowed Chase to sink those shots and power you guys in this attempted comeback?
Yeah, the one difference was we were down 20 to Gonzaga. So 10 was a little bit more manageable, but we just wanted to regroup. We kind of late in the half started finding we're a pick and roll based team, and they were doing a really good job with their centers. They're mobile guys. They were coming out. So we started setting more screens with Jaquez's man, and he was switching, and we felt like we had a quickness, matchup there. And I thought it really kind of unlocked, these guys, because when we were doing the ball screens with the big men, they were just trapping these guys. So they had to pass. When we started using other guys to screen, they were just switching, and then these guys could do what they do. They were breaking them down. Chase hit some big shots. Buie got to the rim. We found guys on kicks. So it just kind of opened up for us. And then once we saw the ball go in a little bit, that's like anything. The crowd's getting into it, the momentum of the game. Then all of a sudden the game's tied, and it's 8 minutes to go, and we got in the huddle, and we're like, all right, this is what we wanted. It's an 8-minute fight, and give UCLA credit. Every time we kind of made a run, they made big plays. Jaquez is an incredible player, one of the best in the country. Tiger Campbell, his command as a point guard, really good. Give Amari Bailey credit. I thought he really stepped up today and gave him great production as a third scorer.
Jim
Alexander from the Southern California News Group. We all expected what kind of game this was going to be, toughness on toughness, and basically grown man basketball. Was there anything about this game that surprised you, about the way it unfolded?
Yeah, I'll let these guys talk because they were the ones out there on the floor. So what were your guys' thoughts on that?
I think we kind of knew it was going to be a war, and it was going to be back and forth. And, we started out really, really cold. I think I airballed my first shot and hit the side of the backboard on my second one. And then, we was just trying to hang our hat on defense and trying to get as many stops. But coming to the second half, we just, we had to lay everything on the line, and we knew it was going to be a war throughout. It wasn't going to be a blowout either way. And, credit to UCLA. They made more plays down the stretch. They're a really good team. They got some really good players. But, we expected to play that type of game today.
Over here.
Coach, Jaime Jaquez is one of the more unique players in the country in his ability to drive into the lane and work off the pivot foot, create second opportunities off of pump fakes, and then play outside and make a three. Is his type of game something that you guys had seen before or practiced against? Because it's one of the more unique types of games for somebody that's a 6'7" small forward in the country.
Yeah, no, we really haven't played anyone kind of like him. We're in our league, we had 3 All-Americans in our league, with Audige, Trace Jackson Davis, and Pickett. And they're all kind of unique in their own way. No one's really as big as Audige and good. Trace is just so unique with what he does, and then Pickett, what he does is unique. So, but Jaime does a great job. He's really good in the open floor. He's strong and physical. He plays off his pivot foot and shot fake really well. The main emphasis, we just stay down on his fakes, and if anything, you got to live with some of those fadeaway J's. He made a couple threes early, which we were gonna be okay with giving up a little bit, and he's just an outstanding player. There's a reason he's an All-American Player of the Year in the Pac-12. He's an older guy that's played in big games. He's a warrior. He's physical on the glass. So it was a tough cover. We knew we weren't going to stop him. We didn't come into the game saying we were going to take him out of the game. What we tried to do was, could we make it hard on him? Could we speed him up a little bit? Could we get him off his sweet spot? And with great players, a lot of times that hard, he was still able to get his production. I thought we did a pretty good job against him on the boards. He wasn't able to hurt us on the offensive boards, but he got out in transition. He got some stuff around the basket, and just give him credit. I'm a big fan. I just think he's a tough-minded guy that's a really good player, terrific college player.
Over here.
Matt Shelton for WildcatReport.com. Against Boise State, the Broncos out-rebounded you guys offensively 20-9. Tonight, something Coach Cronin mentioned, that was 14-3 in your favor. What went into such a big difference in such a short amount of time?
Well, we had a nice little film session yesterday, and we showed about all 20 of those offensive rebounds. And just to make the point, and we knew UCLA was even bigger and more physical and even more athletic than Boise. So we told our guys, if we give up 20 offensive rebounds, we might as well just go home right now. So, and you know what? These guys, they responded like they have for us all year long. They took the challenge. They took it on. But we did a much better job putting bodies on guys. They didn't have free runs to the basket. We did a great job on the glass, and then conversely, we were able to get double-figure offensive rebounds. So I think the thing about us that people don't realize, because maybe we're not the biggest, physically imposing team, is we're a pretty physical team. These guys, the mindset they've had, we've been physical all year. We're physical defensively, we're physical on the board. I think that was a real underrated aspect of this year's team. So I wasn't surprised that we bounced back in that way, the way we did tonight.
Question here.
Matthew Nicholson was a career high today. Can you just speak a little bit to his production, how that kind of embodies the way this team's played all year with different role players stepping up in key times needing the most? Yeah,
I'm just so proud of Matt. I think these guys are too. Matt for the last couple years, when it takes time for big guys. He's 7'1", he's 270 pounds. It takes time. So you see so many, but you know what? When you have a big guy who's committed to working, and also you have a big guy who's competitive and tough and wants to be, then they get better, and that's what Matt has done. He's a competitive guy. He really cares. He works really hard. And then it just so happened tonight, because of the way they were double teaming these guys with the big guy, we were able to find him a lot on rolls. I think they were really trying to stay out on our shooters and give these guys credit. They made some great passes. I think Chase had 6 assists in the first half. About 5 of them were to Matt. And he finished, and even the way he stepped up and made free throws, he made 3 out of 4 late in the game. So excited about Matt's future. He's a young guy. This was a great year for him, and to cap it off the way he did tonight was pretty fun for me to watch.
Over here.
Bradley Locker, inside on you. For Buie and Chase, you guys had just 5 points combined in the first half, but you ended with 34. Can you just talk about how you guys responded in the second half, remained resilient, and what you feel like you showed not only tonight but on this enormous stage?
Yeah, so like Coach was kind of saying before, I think that their bigs were doing a real good job of just, staying with the ball in all of our ball screen actions, and so we were kind of forced to pass since they're going to double team. And then I feel like in the second half, Coach made an adjustment, and we started going off our 4, and they started switching, and then we were getting the ISOs. So it was a little bit more easy to get downhill for the both of us. And, we got to our spots, and our teammates trusted in us, and they went in.
Any other questions? Ann?
Boo and Chase, you guys have one more year of eligibility, and we talked about this yesterday, but does this game impact anything? Does it make you guys think a little bit harder about potentially coming back next season?
I'm not even thinking about that right now. We put everything into this game. We put everything into trying to make a run at the national championship, and I'm really not even thinking about that right now.
Boo.
Yeah, like Jay said, man, we had our whole hearts into winning this tournament, and we really believed, even though other people didn't believe. So we're just gonna go back, get rest, and figure it out later. But our hearts were left out on the floor tonight.
And Chris, one more for you. You've talked a lot during this run about sustained success, that being different than the last time that this program went to the tournament. What are you taking away from this moment that's going to be different, that's going to impact this program differently?
I just think the way our guys approach this year, the mindset we have, I think we've created an identity, which I think for a lot of years, and maybe that was my mistake a lot, is you kind of come into every year and you're trying to figure out, okay, this is our group, how do we figure out how to win? And I never felt like we had like an identity, of our program. And I think what these guys have done is they've set an identity to our program, identity of work, identity of toughness, identity of defense, that I think will carry over. And, right now, like these guys said, and I'm so glad they said that. We made a pact with each other at the beginning of this whole year, and these guys were at the start, like, let's just stay in the present. Too many people always worry about what's next and what are we going to do after this and then it ruins what you're doing in the now. And the beauty of these guys is they've really taken that to heart. They've been in the moment every day. If we had a tough loss, we came back and we were in the moment to get better. If we had a big win, same thing. We dusted all. We didn't listen to the outside noise. We stayed true to who we were. We stayed in the moment. We stayed in the present. We're going to get home and obviously rest up. And it still stings right now because I really wanted to keep going with these guys. There's a lot of years you're kind of okay if it ends. I was not okay. I wanted to keep fighting with these guys. They what this group has done for me this year, nothing about job stat, and I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about how they've invigorated me as a coach. Was really special, and I'll always be indebted to those guys for that.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you. Thank you guys all year for covering us. Appreciate it.